All right, man. Almost ready to get this sucker started, and got a couple things I think you're gonna get a kick out of tonight. And we're bringing back, maybe for the last time, I don't know for sure, sweeping the nation, real things for sale on Facebook Marketplace. I've got something else for you that you're really gonna get a kick out of.
Love it. There could never not be an episode of that without that. It's just always some fascinating stuff for sale on
Got some
there.
good stuff there. We're also going to talk a little bit about a massive data breach at the worst possible place you could ever have a data breach. So people are going to want to know about that. And then, a whole bunch of other crazy stories that are going to be a good time. And wait till you see and hear about the size of this bat that a guy found in his garage.
Nope.
Could have ridden it out of there. Like on Game of Thrones.
Wouldn't have been my garage anymore. I can promise you that much.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get this sucker started so we can get as close to everything as we can tonight. So I'll play us in. We'll get it started.
All right, let's do it.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and liftoff.
All right, everybody. Welcome. You get the Horn Show, folks. It is the big show. Tad and Jeff here with you. We got plenty to cover tonight. First things first, how you doing, brother?
Doing good, man. Always excited to do the big show. The stories that we come up with, phenomenal, fascinating.
The world has stories that need to be told.
They really do. And they need someone to tell them.
Some of them shouldn't be told, but they need to be told.
That's exactly it.
All right, so I'm going to jump right into it. We shot out of a cannon tonight, so I'm just going to go right off the bat here. I got a crazy story for you. In the late 1800s, a man named Henry Ziegland lived in Texas. He was dating a young woman, but decided to end their relationship, and she became deeply heartbroken. In her distress, she took her own life. Her brother, filled with anger and grief, sought revenge on Ziegland and confronted him. During the confrontation, he shot at Ziegland and then turned the gun on himself, taking his own life. Unbeknownst to everyone, the bullet intended for Ziegland had missed its mark and had embedded itself in a nearby tree. Ziegland, believing he had escaped the threat, eventually moved on with his life. Years later, around 1913, Ziegland decided to remove the same tree. Unable to chop it down with an axe, he used dynamite to bring it down. As the tree exploded, the long-forgotten bullet was dislodged and propelled with great force, striking Ziegland in the head and leading to his death. This, again, we talk about these things.
Gracious.
This is like another one of those like Final Destination type deals, right? We're talking literally 15, 20 years later that this guy decides to blow up this tree. Blows it up, the bullet that missed him the first time gets him the second time, hits him in the head and kills him.
The moral to the story is love will eventually kill you.
That's right. It'll find a way. They say love finds a way.
Yes, it's exactly what it is.
Yeah. They say, just let it go. If it comes back to you, it's meant to be. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly that's how they meant it, but that's what happened. So,
that's it.
Yeah,
that's the life lesson that comes from it. So
unbelievable. I mean, you're just getting on with your life. First off, your girlfriend kills herself, then the brother comes looking for revenge, shoots you, misses you, and then kills himself on your property, obviously.
Yeah.
And you just move on with your life however you can, and you're cutting down a tree, and the tree.
Yeah. I mean, here's the headline. Like, just so you know, like, this isn't just me telling the story. This is a headline from the newspaper. Bullet fired 20 years ago kills man today. And they say a bullet fired at Henry Ziegler 20 years ago struck him yesterday and caused his death today. So they had shot the bullet into the tree. Then he used the dynamite, and they even say it here. He split the tree with a small charge of dynamite, dislodged the bullet, and sent that into his head, and then that injury caused his death. So they shot at him 20 years ago. He dodged it, blew it up. Bullet comes back, hits him in the head, and now it's in the newspaper.
He jilted a noted Texas beauty.
Whoa.
Never jilt a Texas beauty, apparently.
No.
She
So
will
despondent she
find
killed
a way.
herself. He robbed the world of a wonderful Texas beauty. Some say he deserved what he got. But, you know, who are we to judge? Who are we to judge?
Boy.
Pretty crazy, though, man. Pretty crazy.
That is absolutely insane.
They say when it's your time, it's your time. It was his time.
It was definitely his time.
Whether he liked it or not.
Look, he had 20 years reprieve.
That's right.
And it was just his time.
Yeah. Yeah. It can't last forever. The good times, gotta end at some point.
Jeez.
Well, and speaking of the good times ending at some point, I'm going to show you something that is a nightmare, and you know, you'll just have to deal with it. But first, I'll describe it to you a little bit. In 2020, a resident in the Philippines entered his garage only to find a, quote, human-sized bat hanging there. Known as flying foxes, these creatures boast a wingspan of almost 6 feet, making them the largest bats on the planet. This is not an exaggeration, because this is a picture of the bat in question hanging in his garage.
It literally looks like someone in a Batman costume. It's just like, what in the world would you do if you opened the garage and saw? First of all, how did it even get there?
Yeah,
and then you just see this thing hanging, and then take the time to take a picture of it. Apparently, as well.
Yeah. I'm burning the garage down if it's me.
Oh, 100%. What would you do if you opened a garage and saw that thing? I wouldn't I wouldn't even know what to do. I definitely am not grabbing my camera.
No.
Like, this is just a story I would tell and no one would believe me.
That's right.
There was a
I'm grabbing the dynamite
bat.
like the last guy did.
Exactly.
It's insane.
Oh my gosh.
A 6-foot wingspan.
I'm pretty sure that's the thing that caused COVID.
That's right. Yes. Somebody ate that.
Jeez.
A whole town could have eaten that. So they say apparently, and again, you know, community notes on Twitter, they say that the picture first went viral in 2018 and then regained notoriety in 2020. The original description says that it was 2020 that the guy found it in his garage, but apparently it was 2018 and then it regained notoriety in 2020. But yeah, a 6-foot wingspan. I don't want to have anything to do with those, but they're known as flying foxes.
No, thank you.
Yeah. So that takes care of that. All right. And next up, I got something here you actually sent me the other day, which, you know, is funny because we talked about this. I had seen this a while back. We talked about this before, that like the list of stories that either get forgotten about or we don't have time to get to or something like that. This one is one of those exact things. We're so fortunate that you caught it because somewhere it's on a list that didn't end up making onto an episode. So I was glad that you caught this. I mean, okay.
It's hilarious. Like, I'm sorry.
This is why countries don't want to do business with other countries. Okay. This is exactly why diplomatic relations can be ruined. In the 1970s, North Korea ordered 1,000 Volvo cars from Sweden as a response to its emerging economy. The cars were shipped and delivered, but North Korea just didn't bother paying and ignored the invoice. To this day, the bill remains unpaid, making it the largest car theft in history. 1,000 Volvos the North Korean government stole.
You know what's the funniest part about this is that every year Sweden sends them a bill. Like, and I don't know if they're just trolling at this point or if they're just hoping like, all right, this is going to be the year they're going to pay the bill.
Well, they say that now because, you know, the debt and interest and inflation and everything else, the debt is over $322 million now. So if you weren't going to pay for the cars when they were probably $10,000 a piece, you're certainly not going to be paying $322 million now.
It's so funny. They just keep sending the bill, and they just keep putting it on the bill pile.
Yeah.
Like, we'll get to it.
They got to be like, did you change your address? Because we've been sending you these bills. Are we sending them to the wrong place?
You got the little person on the phone trying to collect the debt,
Yeah.
Excuse me, would you like to pay a little something on this? Jeez.
It's
They
so
were just
crazy.
like, nah, we're not going to pay it.
Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. I
Yeah.
don't even know if we still have them. I don't know if we ever received them for sure.
Did we ever receive those?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll ask. I'll call you back.
Clearly you did. There's videos of you driving them around. I don't think that came from you guys.
Yeah,
I'll check
not
on
sure.
it, though. Hey,
Yeah.
we'll get back with you.
We definitely have Volvos, but we might have gotten them from someone else. Might not have been you, the Swedes who make them. So crazy.
I'm going to try that and see if it works.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing. North Korea has been doing this since the 70s. So they were one of the original people to ignore debt collectors. Because it used to be there wasn't internet, there wasn't text messaging and emails and all that kind of stuff. The only thing that you could do with debt is like send letters in the mail, and if they found out your phone number, they could call you. That's all that's happened still. Like, I mean, if you like, I don't know the rules of international government, but it seems like there should be something that a nation should be able to do when another nation has, stolen from them, just straight up robbed them. But I guess it's North Korea, so nobody really wants to pick that fight. They're like, all right, well, whatever. We know how you guys are.
Yeah, and how did they not take money up front? They were like, they're good for it. They're North Korea. They're good for it.
Yeah. I mean, maybe the attitude was different in the 70s. Maybe back then people were like, hey, North Korea is pretty cool. Like, you're going to want to do business with them. And then now
they got an emerging economy.
Yeah.
We ship 10,000 Volvos over there. I just, like who sends stuff without paying it? I don't understand. Yeah.
Yeah, like, don't worry, we'll just send you an invoice. Oh, all right. And
Yeah.
North Korea was probably like, so you're going to send me 1,000 cars and then just an invoice. I don't have to do anything else. All right, yeah, just send away. And they're probably like, they're never going to get here. There's no way they're really going to send us 1,000 Volvos, dude. Like we took a shot. Okay, it didn't work. Sure enough, here's a truck showing up with 1,000 Volvos.
Hey, where do you want them at? Just over here. Yeah. Holy crap, they sent them. What idiots.
Just out back in this gated security area with one-way doors you can't get back into. That'd be perfect.
Oh, that is so funny. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. So lesson, hey, look, the U.S. is giving billions and billions of dollars away to Ukraine and everywhere else. See if anyone wants 1,000 Volvos.
Yeah.
Just see what we can. Why can we just send anybody 1,000 GM vehicles and bill them $322 million for it?
There you go.
Seems fair. I'll see why not. Nobody gives us
I don't either. Nope.
All right, moving on here. This one is, it doesn't seem possible that this could be real. It is, but it seems like a story that almost couldn't possibly happen and someone survive. In 1990, the windshield of a British Airways Flight 5390 came off at an altitude of 17,000 feet. This triggered a sudden decompression in the cockpit, resulting in the captain being partially ejected out of the aircraft. As luck would have it, Nigel Ogden, a flight attendant, was on his way into the cockpit at that moment. He managed to grab a hold of the captain and held on for over 20 minutes while the co-pilot attempted an urgent landing without a windshield. Although the majority of the crew presumed the pilot had already died, Ogden did not let go. There was a prevailing fear that if Ogden did release his hold, the pilot's body might strike the plane's engine, wing, or stabilizer, causing even more chaos. All Ogden knew was that the pilot was gradually slipping more and more out the window, and his head was continuously being battered against the airplane's body. Finally, after a distressing 20-minute flight with a gaping window, the aircraft was safely brought down at Southampton Airport. In the course of events, Ogden suffered from frostbite on his face, damage to one of his eyes, and a dislocated shoulder. In a miraculous turn of events, the pilot survived the ordeal, although he had frostbite and multiple fractures on his arms and hands. And here's what's crazy. They actually did a TV movie about this called Mayday. And here's an image from that movie. Now, I don't know that it actually looked like this. This guy just like laid out on the plane. And him just like sideways hanging onto his ankles. But that was the TV movie version of this. Can you even imagine, how does the window come out of an airplane? And the pilot gets sucked out, and somehow they're able to grab him and hold on to him and keep him in the plane. I mean, just crazy.
This is nuts. And like his head smacking on like like, how does he even breathe at that?
I know.
Like, how do you even breathe? I mean, how fast do planes go? I'm assuming
hundreds of miles an hour.
Right. Like I get on a motorcycle and I'm like, don't feel like I can breathe when I'm on one of them. I have no idea how people ride those things. And he's sucked out of an airplane.
Dude,
and manages to love.
I did a helicopter tour one time in Hawaii, doors off, right? And I'm sitting at the edge, and I hated it. It was a miserable experience.
Every second of it, I hated it.
You can't catch your breath. The wind is like hitting you. Like, it is terrible, terrible experience. And that was just a helicopter flying over Hawaii. This was not a British Airways flight and hanging out the windshield of it. I mean, it's just insane to think that you could survive that. I mean, that it happens and that they were able to even hold on to the guy. 20 minutes they're hanging on to this guy who's hanging out. I mean, who knows if it was dramatized a little bit for the TV movie? Like maybe it was just like the guy stuck his hand out like, oh, yeah, no, it's definitely cold out there, guys. Let's be careful. And then they were like, oh, no, he pretty much got sucked out. But something crazy to think that you could get to that point.
Yeah, and survive it. I mean, and it made sense why they would hold on to him because, like, we let go of this guy. He's going to suck back through one of the engines and blow the engine out, kill everybody on board. So unbelievable. I guess, when it's not your time, it's not your time, I suppose.
That's right. That's what they say.
20 years later, airplane fell on top of him.
Yeah, what do you do? Just bad luck, right?
Yeah.
All right. So as we move on here, I found this. Some people are really good at holiday preparation, right? My wife is really, really good at this. She does all this work. My house looks amazing. She does all this incredible, intricate, decorating and everything. It's impressive, borderline insane. Really, really nice. Some people don't have a talent for it, but some people really, really have a talent for it. And some people want to put their own spin on it. This is an example of somebody who has a talent and definitely puts it to use as it pertains to their Christmas lights. And I will play it because it has music as well, and then I will explain it.
Thanks for coming out tonight. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. I appreciate that.
Come on. Hot, sicker than your average. Hop a twist cabbage on instinct.
Just rotate through different songs. Just rotate through.
Out on bail, fresh out of jail, California dreaming. Soon as I step on the scene, I'm hearing hoochie screaming, fiending for money and alcohol, the life of a West Side player with callous eye and a strong ball.
Next up.
Okay, hot hole, too hot to hold. Ladies love me long time like Tupac soul. Only way to roll, jiggering two ladies, too cold. Motorola, two-way pay.
Next up.
Let me work it. I put my thing down, flip it and reverse it. It's your primitive is when yet. It's your primitive when yet.
Imagine being the neighbor.
For real.
So there you go. Is there anything more that can be done with Christmas lights than that? Like that's gone about as far as it can and needs to go. There's just only so much you can do.
That's it. No, he wins. I mean, it's not the 25,000 lights that Clark Griswold put up.
That's right.
But pretty close.
Pretty darn good. Well, and here's the other thing. We probably won't be able to play that clip because
Oh,
we don't have licensing for all the music. But for anyone who's just who's listening to the podcast, essentially all of those songs, all of the lights are timed to all of those songs. And different lights, different displays, different patterns, swirls, things going crazy, like each individual thing. It'll be on our YouTube, so you can go on our YouTube at You Get the Horn Show and check it out. But yeah, I mean, crazy. And honestly, now you're seeing so much of that, right? These Christmas lights that are all Wi-Fi controlled from an app. You can do so many things with, sync them to different things.
Yeah.
You know, but that is like next level stuff. Music blasting in the, again, you don't want to be a neighbor if that music has to play like that, you know, like, I mean, it's just like, is that going to be midnight on Christmas? That just bumping in the neighborhood. Windows are rattling in the people's houses.
Come on, Carl.
But yeah, saw that and I thought, okay, that's about the best Christmas light show I've ever seen.
It's fantastic. I wonder who put it up too. Like, did the owner or did he hire someone to come and do it? I mean,
good question. That should be a professional company. I hope it was a professional company that did that. If it was just that owner, he should start his own company.
Exactly right.
All right. So I promised earlier that there was going to be a data breach story. And I said specifically that it would be one of the worst places that you would ever want to see a data breach happen. And here it is. 23andMe, the DNA website, says it's been majorly compromised after hackers busted into their system and accessed about half of their user base's very private data. This means hackers now don't only just have your data, they literally have had access to your DNA. Craziness.
It's insane. And it really, really begs the question of who hacked into this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because there's not a whole lot you can get on there that would be worthwhile to you necessarily.
Right.
Unless you really, really had a need for someone's DNA. You needed access to, history and family trees and everything else. So
yeah,
very interesting.
It's interesting too, because apparently they had their digital archives breached back in October. But at the time, now keep in mind, 23andMe has over 6.9 million users. And, I'm sorry, I misspoke. They have about 14 million users. 6.9 million were included in the attack. So half of their users, 7 million people, and they were hacked in different ways. 5.5 million people who'd opted into their DNA relatives feature potentially had extremely sensitive info rifled through, because that is a portal where people can update their names, birth years, relationship labels to others, percentage of DNA shared with relatives, ancestry reports, and even self-reported locations depending on what they'd put in. They also had 1.4 million users who opted into the relatives feature from 23andMe and had their family tree profiles illegally accessed. And so this has, it pulls in from everywhere, all ancestry info, DNA matching info, everything to be able to see who's related to each other. So initially 23andMe came out and said this wasn't a big deal, because they initially said that only 0.1% of their customers' accounts had been impacted. Now it turns out it's 50%. This isn't even close. This isn't like we said 48%. Turns out it's 50. 0.1% is what they said. 50% is what it is.
Yep. That's a little scary.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, I've never done any of those tests. I know you have. So I don't know if you did it through that particular site. If you did, then
yeah.
Okay. So there you go. So I have never liked the idea of that stuff, because it feels very strange to me that I'm giving access to my DNA to a company. And my thinking was always, well, what if something happens, right? You don't figure anything's going to happen, because you figure these guys have to have the absolute most amazing, world-class, crazy, better than the government can possibly create private security measures to guard against the most important thing in the known universe, which is our DNA. Nope. No, it was probably like a teenager in Latvia or something like that was able to break into this and now has hacked DNA data. How you can use it, I'm not 100% sure. These guys are obviously creative enough to figure out a way to hack into the system in the first place. They didn't do it for no reason at all. Whether that means you can frame people for crimes, whether it means, I just feel like there's a lot you could do with the DNA of 7 million people.
It's just something that can't happen and shouldn't happen, and obviously did happen. And for them to come out and say it was so little, and I still think they come out and if I remember the story correctly, what it sounds like was someone like on the inside who maybe leaked that it was that many. Because I'm pretty sure they haven't come out and been like, yeah, our bad. It really was 50%.
Well, so it's a good question. It says a rep for the company confirms that this, that it was 6.9 million people.
Wow.
So I do believe that they have admitted it now, because it says 23andMe says it's been majorly compromised. So they've now formally said that it happened.
Well, so, I had a 50-50 chance of finding my my father's side and his relatives, and now I got a 50% chance that someone has my DNA and is going to use it for not good.
Yeah, 50-50 chance that you will be DB Cooper, and
exactly it. Yeah. A lot of cases are going to start getting solved here. So if you start seeing these cases solved, start questioning it.
That's right. I mean, you really do have to wonder, right? Like, really think about that. If you have access to DNA, now again, they're not holding the actual DNA. So right. I don't know exactly what they're getting, but they're getting personal information. From what I understand, nowadays, the way these hackers can work, if they know your name, your address, your birth date, they can probably find out enough other stuff about you to hack you. And so then it's just, they got 7 million people. I mean, they got a lot to run through. And even if they could only find use for a percentage of that, even if it was, I don't know, 25% or something like that, even 10% of that works, 700,000 people that they could now hack and get access into bank accounts and other things. So, not to mention how many of those people have a card on file, like a credit card on file with 23andMe, maybe to make payments to, or different things like that. Like there's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, we love to go down the conspiracy rabbit hole, but there's only a few entities out there that would really, really benefit from having this information. I'm not saying that it couldn't be just your run-of-the-mill hackers that just hack just to get in and try to get credit card information, but we're talking about family histories and DNA and things like that. There's only so many people that have a need for that kind of stuff. So
yeah, makes you wonder.
Do with that as you will, I suppose.
Yeah. Scary stuff. Protect yourself. Protect your DNA.
Apparently
we've had to get to that point.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on. Little lighter note here. So, this man was a teacher for 40 years. In 1974, Dale Irby, a gym teacher in Dallas, realized he had worn the same outfit as the previous year on picture day, and he decided to simply go with it after Kathy, his wife, dared him to. He decided to keep the same outfit going for picture day for 40 years until he retired in 2013. So here is the picture of Dale Irby over 40 years from being a young teacher to the last year when he retired. The same outfit, different photographers, so the backgrounds look different. He's turned different ways, but ultimately that is the progression of 40 years of a man's life in the exact same outfit.
That's so funny. That's awesome. And also, tells you if you become a gym teacher, boy, you just keep that job because there's not a better thing out there to do than become a gym teacher, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, and it is funny how pictures change over time. Like, there's nature scenes, there's trees and lakes in the background and stuff, and some of the early stuff, and then they just went to kind of solid backgrounds, and yeah.
Yeah, you just get that standard blue these days, I guess.
That's right.
Just to burn your eyes out.
No creativity. But yeah, gym teacher in Dallas. And yeah, 40 years of the exact same thing. Pretty nuts. And I mean, you do see that sometimes, right? There's different clips, different things you see about, like, you know, oh, this guy took a picture with his daughter every year for 20 years or whatever. But it is interesting that, you know, the idea of just like for 40 years, he remembered each year, like, oh, we got to make, like, he never even forgot when picture day was. It wasn't like, oh, dang it, today's picture, I didn't realize it. And you run home and change or something. But for 40 years, that's remarkably consistent. That you can see that he never, ever changed.
Very, very consistent.
Yeah.
All my gym teachers were old. I don't know about your gym teachers, but
I didn't have young, middle-aged, I would say. I didn't have old, but like middle-aged people.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they seemed old when you're young, but
sure. Yeah. I mean,
now I feel like they were very youthful.
Very, very
youthful, very vibrant. They had a real spring in their step.
I could be a gym teacher for 40 years. Yeah. What a great job to get, man. Jeez.
Yeah.
Great pension. I mean, you know, you don't have the stress of everything. Just go out in the basketball court. And,
I don't care if you speak English or not. Just go out and play dodgeball. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you know science.
That's universal language, you know. Yeah, you don't need to read. I can remember my gym teacher used to make us like we had to do tests. And, it was funny just to like see people struggle with the test because it'd be like, who won the Super Bowl last year? They were like, how am I supposed to know this? And I'm like, oh, my God, this is the greatest class in the world, you know?
Yeah, they're like, I've been studying physics. And I don't care about that. I just. Yeah, it's a good gig if you can get it, I think, the gym teacher.
Yeah, it's why they don't pop up too often. That's for sure.
Yeah. It's like the Supreme Court. You basically got to die to get out of a gym teacher.
Yeah, true story. He now is on the Supreme Court, so he retired to go into politics.
Right. We slid right over to the natural progression of gym teacher to Supreme Court justice. All right, so I got something for you here. We talk sometimes on the show about inflation and prices and things like that. This is actually one that I had meant to talk about on our sports episode. Highly encourage people to check that out. But I saw it and it's still worthy here to discuss. These are the prices for drinks at Allegiant Stadium, which is where the Raiders play in the NFL. A domestic canned beer, we're talking Bud Light, Miller Lite, $14.99. $15 for domestic canned beer. A premium canned beer, $17. Local canned beers, $13. Canned cocktails, $14. Bottled water, I love this. Raiders bottled water, $6. Premium smart water, $8. Bottled soda, $6.
Oh my gosh.
Can you believe that they can charge $15 a can for domestic beer? We're talking Coors Light, Miller Lite, Bud Light, $15 a can if you go to the Raiders game.
I mean, is this a 40? I mean, what are we talking about with these? Like, I mean, my goodness. I mean, the local canned beer, I'm assuming, is just your regular standard run-of-the-mill canned beer.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's whatever they make here. It lists it, so they're probably from local, breweries. Yeah. Love Lady Sour, Atomic Duck IPA, Big Dog's Craft Lager, Rebel Spirit IPA. Not familiar with them. They're probably from a local brewery there. But yeah, $13. That's the cheapest you can get. That's cheaper than Bud Light, but still not cheap.
I mean, is this just to curb like people drinking at the game? I mean, obviously it doesn't stop them, especially at Raiders games, because they're always fighting and punching each other, other teams. They don't care. So I don't.
They're a rowdy
bunch.
That
is crazy. It just has to be to curb drinking. It's the only thing I don't
think that's what it is at all, because they want you drinking. They make so much money from drinking. Like, they're not looking to curb drinking. I think they just know they can make that kind of money in Vegas. People will blow money. People go there to blow money.
Oh, that time we went to Vegas and they asked us, the first time we were there, asked if we wanted tap water or water. We got our bill because we were just like, yeah, just give us, like, I don't even know what, probably Dasani.
It was, well, so they asked, if what kind of water we wanted. And we were like, oh, bottled you like, he was like, you want tap water, bottled water? Like, yeah. Turns out, they were bringing us bottles of Fiji water all night at the restaurant in Vegas, and it came out like a $50 water bill on top of our dinner and everything. And it was like, wait, what? Like, no, he didn't mention. He's just refilling, like bringing it out the whole time, fresh
just
bottles,
bringing it out,
and they put it in like this decorative metal container.
Yes,
so you're never actually seeing the bottle of water. It's like this nice decorative container with just the little neck sticking out, and then they just like fill it up. And we're in the freaking desert. We're all just like going nuts and just having this crazy time. So we're just literally sandpaper. So we're drinking water like it's going out of style. Ugh.
There's been several times that I've been pissed in Vegas, and I don't know that anything compared to when we got that bill, and I was like, you have got to be kidding me. You're telling me I could have gotten tap water for free, and I paid $50 for probably a tap. I don't know what, like we each had maybe 2 glasses of water, 3 glasses of water tops.
And this was probably, how long ago? 15 years ago or something like that at this point? I don't even know. And so, back then they were charging us whatever it was, $7 or $8 a bottle. Nowadays it's probably 15 or $20 a bottle for dinner in that same place. It was, I won't say the name of the restaurant because I don't know if it's still there, but it was in the Bellagio. And it was probably the premier restaurant in the Bellagio. Very, very high-end steakhouse.
Yep.
And,
you definitely paid for.
They got us good.
They got us real good.
Premium
Kudos
steakhouse,
to you.
Premium water house as well. So if you want good water, good steak, go to that place.
There's few things that I say, you just can't, like Coke, Pepsi. I don't care. Right? Yeah. It doesn't matter to me. Fiji water is the only water that I've ever drank that I'm like, this is good water. And it was fantastic water.
Yeah.
It was fantastic water.
It's good water.
Yep. And we sure did pay for it.
That's right. It's good water. Comes at a premium. You want the good stuff?
Comes at a premium. Yeah.
Hey, if you don't want to pay for it, go get it from Fiji.
That's it.
It's hilarious to me. So I've been to Fiji.
Yeah.
It's funny. I've been to Fiji a few times. And when I'm there, it's like in the airport and stuff, they're still selling Fiji water. It's like, isn't this just water?
Just water.
Now it's just water. Like I came across the other side of the world. This should just be water now. There shouldn't be any other type of water that you even sell. This should be the garbage water. Like you should be importing like Dasani as the high end water, and then Fiji water is the tap water.
Yeah,
it's not that way.
No, not at all.
Everything's a scam.
Yeah, it's all a scam. Yep.
Everything's a scam, but I'm going to show you something here because we're going to be closing out the show here in a minute. And I got something for you that I don't think is a scam. I'm going to, because we're going to close out the show again with real things for sale on Facebook Marketplace. And I have something for you. You tell me if you would be interested in spending the money on this.
Well, hold on. I didn't get the sound effects.
Sorry. What's that?
I didn't get the sound effect.
Sorry. My fault here. Yes. Yeah, so we have.
You're going to introduce it. Introduce it right.
You're right. This is 100% on me. We have real things for sale on Facebook Marketplace. Little weird delay I'm working with tonight, but yes, another big and exciting time here. And okay, man, this is I'm just going to share it with you. This is a real thing for sale on Facebook Marketplace. It is an ultra rare accidental double pack fortune cookie.
Whoa.
This is an unopened factory mess up of a double pack fortune cookie.
Bidding
starts at $100, but I'll take the best offer. And there are a few pictures here. So essentially, during packaging, they accidentally put 2 fortune cookies in one package. And this is the ultra rare accidental double pack fortune cookie. Bidding starts at $100. Starts at $100.
We need multiple pictures.
So what do
to
you
be able
think?
to
Are
see
you
Tip
interested
Cookie.
in?
Very much so.
Yeah,
I'm into
he makes
ultra
sure
rare
he wants
stuff,
you to
so.
see it from every angle.
Just
If
so
you're
you know,
going
this
to pay
is an
$100
illusion.
for it, he wants you to see it from every angle. Hold up a
Ultra
mirror to
rare.
it and everything. Yeah,
Holding
ultra
today's
rare.
newspaper so you can tell, it's not
Proof of life.
proof of
Yeah, I mean ultra rare, accidental. Again, we're just going to assume that he did not rig this up himself. Ultra rare, accidental double pack fortune cookie for $100.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth it.
People buy things all the time, collector's items and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is one of those things. Maybe you buy and obviously you're not going to eat it, right?
Sure.
We had a story a few weeks ago about the most expensive whiskey that was just recently sold. Most expensive in the world, spent millions of dollars on this bottle of whiskey. You're not going to pop it open and drink it.
Sure.
When you get a rare accidental double pack fortune cookie, you put it in the safe. You put it in the
100%.
safe deposit box in the bank. And you lock that up. And I'm not talking about one of these American banks. You go to Switzerland.
No,
you get a real
You put that in
vault.
offshore. Yeah, you put
That's
that in
right.
the offshore. Yeah.
You're going to want this to go wherever the Nazi works of art have gone that they pillaged from other countries. Bars of gold and paintings and stuff, all of those things. You go right to Switzerland. You put them in there. There's the Raiders of the Lost Ark type thing.
100%.
And yeah, rare accidental double pack fortune cookie for $100.
Starting.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
sure
like
it's
the
going to
guy-
go up.
It's like the guy. What was the one that we were looking at before? It was at the Hornet's Nest or something. The guy
Yes.
always said, no tire kickers. I know what I have. I don't want people lining up outside of my house to see this double fortune cookie.
Yeah,
Like, if you're
no,
serious about it, fine. It's $100
That's
to
it.
start, but I'm expecting this thing to climb.
Yeah. This is no Virgin Mary and a piece of toast. This is a double fortune cookie. Yeah.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't fully understand this, it's 2 fortune cookies inside of one package. So you can understand the value. Like, you'd pay whatever you'd pay for one fortune cookie in a package, but when there's 2 of them in there, it does change the value exponentially.
It really does. Yeah. I mean, it's a double cookie.
Yeah.
Even though they're free, but
Yeah, that should play into it more than it seems to. The fact that they are free. They're free unless you find 2 of them in one, in which case then they're easily worth $100.
all bets are off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not all
That's
bets.
right.
A starting bet of 100.
Starting bet of 100. Yeah. I mean, when you have an act of God happen like this, people have to take advantage and profit of it often if they can.
Hey, that's the society we live in, I can't blame them.
No, it's capitalism. Capitalism at its
That's it.
finest.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is what this is what makes us different than North Korea.
That's
North
it.
Korea will take 1,000 Volvos and never pay a penny. Here, you get 2 fortune cookies in one package, starting bid of $100. But you got to pay.
Exactly.
You're not
Yeah.
going to get a bill later.
No.
You pay up front for
Yeah,
this.
no. This isn't going to be on loan or anything like that. No, this is serious inquiries only.
Yeah, we run a tight ship here in the U.S. of A. We know how we do it. So that's another thing there. A real item for sale on Facebook Marketplace. So saw that and I was like, okay, man. So people will always find a way to make $1 if they can. And someone, now I don't know if it will be sold or if it has been sold, but someone out there might be like, dang, is that really valuable? Like, maybe that really is worth something. I don't recall ever seeing one like that. I hope not. Because if that person, like, we should round them up. Like, we're using like the 23andMe, the DNA breach. Like, this is another thing. Like, round somebody like this up. Like, whoever's buying this and selling it, round them up. like an internment camp or something. It doesn't have to be a full prison. Just
No.
just
They
put
can
in some
run
labor.
around and do
It's like
whatever
one of those
they
dog
do.
things on a runner.
Yeah.
Like you let them free reign.
Right, but you just don't
Yeah.
let them out in society.
Yeah, there's a fence, but I mean,
Sure.
there's still like, but
Yeah.
they have a lot of,
Yeah.
It's like free range chickens. It doesn't literally mean they leave the property. You know, you have an area, but within that area, however big it is, it's still free range. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Craziness. Anyway, so I think that wraps it pretty well up for us tonight. Did you have anything you wanted to touch on? Anything I left out? Any messages for our global audience?
No, I mean, just let us know when you buy the cookie so we can put you on the list.
Seriously, yeah. Definitely reach out to us. Reach out to us and let us know so we can let the FBI know. That'll be good.
Some money laundering going on there. So,
yeah, I'll buy it with Bitcoin. Can I do that?
Yeah.
buy pizza with Bitcoin. We talked about that a while back. So there's no reason we can't buy a double.
No, absolutely.
A rare double
do it before Senator Warren passes that bill to ban it. So,
yeah, no kidding. This is the time.
Yeah.
This is time. Because otherwise, you have to pay cash for your rare, accidental double packed fortune cookies. You're not going to do that.
No.
Subject to deflation. So, all right. Well, I think that does it for us tonight. So we'll go ahead and wrap this sucker up. We've wandered long enough with you, and so on that note, have a great week, everybody. We will do our best to continue to keep you entertained. Check us out on the podcast. Check us out on YouTube, X, etc. We look forward to talking with you soon. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.